Hello everyone and welcome to another lockdown interview. Today I'm delighted to be joined by Andreas Stokbro of NTT Pro Cycling. This is Andreas' first year on the World Tour and he began his pro cycling career with the Danish Continental side Riwal Platform cycling team, and he stayed with them until last year where they had their first season as a pro continental side. Andreas grabbed headlines in 2019 as he won both GP Herning in Denmark and the under-23 edition of the Tour of Flanders. He also performed really well in the very tough race, the Tour de Yorkshire, as his team Riwal Readiness really mixed it with the World Tour teams. And Stokbro finished 6th on stage 2 and 8th on a very tough stage 3 that was marred with awful weather, and the race was split by a savage crosswinds over the Yorkshire moors. Andreas has already showcased his potential for the classics, and he has a bright future ahead riding for NTT Pro Cycling. So without further ado, here is the interview with Andreas Stokbro. Hi Andreas, how are you this morning?
Hi, I'm good.
How has lockdown been affecting you and your training?
It's not changed that much for me regarding my training because I live in Denmark and we've been able to be outside the whole time. But it's been a difficult time not doing any races.
You've already done some races this year. You did 2 French stage races, Kern-Brussels-Kern and Omnood het Nieuwsblad. How's it been so far racing with the team?
It's been different. I haven't been home this time as the year before. Normally I don't experience the spring in Denmark. It's been the first time that I've actually seen how it is. But yeah, it's been a weird time just training and waiting to see when we get started again.
What was kind of your targets for the year before all this lockdown happened?
My big goals for the year was definitely the classics. Doing them for the first time and see how I could do for my team captains.
So what's it been like working with Bjarne, because he joined the team as well?
Yeah, Bjarne, he came in late last year, and the team had really, as I heard, had changed a lot just with getting Lars Michaelsen in before, and then Bjarne, he took over and still developing on having a bit of a change of the team. But I didn't know Bjarne from before, so it was my first time working with him. But it's been really good. I really like Bjarne, and he's has some really good tactical skills and things he can bring to the team.
What's the step up been like to go to the World Tour? Because you came from a pro continental team.
Yeah, I didn't get to do that many races this year, but it's for sure it's a big step up. I think it's not as big for me as for many others because I was in pro continental last year, so I still got to do some fairly big races last year. But it's for sure I could feel in the opening weekend this year that it's some hard racing, and the level is just quite high. A lot higher.
So, like you've said that you're targeting the classics. Is that what you're hoping to target in this revised calendar? And how do you think that will kind of affect the racing?
Yeah, I'm still going to do the classics in the revised calendar, and we don't really know yet who is going to be at the start line, but for sure it's going to be a bit of a different peloton than it would normally be. For sure, there's going to be some people missing, but it's still going to be hard racing, and still going to be pretty good hard racing. I think.
It must be good to have someone like Edvard Bosenhagen to learn off, as he's a classics rider as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Edvard is really a rider I've been looking up to for some years, and now I'm on the same team, so I can really learn from him, and now I just have to do some classics with him.
Is it nice to have like a Danish setup as well? With, you said, Lars, Bjarne Riis, you've got Valgren and Cable there as well.
Yeah, we were a lot more Danish people on the team now than I suspected we were going to be, but it's really nice to have someone who speaks the same language as me, and it makes it a bit easier when some of the DSs also speak my native language. So it's always good to have some from the same country.
So how did you kind of get started in cycling back in Denmark?
Well, that was when I was 8 years old or something. My granddad has been a cyclist in the 50s, so my family have always been cycling. And then my dad, he asked me if I wanted to go with him to a small race and do just for fun. And then I went with him, and I saw another guy that had like a racing bike, and then as I said, I want one of those also. And the summer after, I got my first racing bike, and then it all started.
So you were a junior that you did quite a lot of racing in different countries before you even turned pro. Is that something that you just have to do as a junior to get to a high level due to Denmark being quite small?
Yeah, I think you have to get out to experience, and the most important part is just to be seen by the teams, and because not many looks at the results, even though the Danish A class and just the Danish under 23s are really good. Nobody really looks at the results in Danish races. So I think you have to get out and get some results in other countries to be seen.
As you did all that, you signed your first contract with Riwal. I'll get the name right because I keep calling them Riwal Readiness. Riwal Platform cycling team. What was that first year kind of stepping up to continental level from junior?
That was different, just suddenly to be racing with adults or something, because at that point I was 17, maybe I turned 18 that year. But it's different, and it's hard at the beginning because the races are so much longer than in junior. But after a couple of months, you get used to the length of the races, and then the results can start coming in.
You won a stage in the ZL Tour. Was that a good tour for you? And did that kind of help your development as well and confidence?
Yeah, for sure. That was really unexpected as a first year on 23. We were not riding for me actually, because I think we lost. There was a state race, and on the team time trial we lost Mads Petersen due to a puncture. So we were third on the TTT, I think, and then we tried to get Mads Wursten to win the race overall. So we just tried attacking all the way on the last stage, and then at the end I was in the front and thought I'll try to sprint, and then I won. So that was a big surprise for me at that time.
You did a lot of Danish and Norwegian one-day races. What's it like to compete with the Danish guys and Norwegian guys most weekends? Is it a high level?
Yeah, the Danish and Norwegian guys, and especially under 23, are really good at the moment, and you sort of get to know each other, so you know who to look out for. So it's different than when you come to the Netherlands or something, and you don't know who exactly is you have to look out for, because when you race in Denmark and Norway, you always know who to look for.
You also did your very first Plus Denmark Rundt. What was it like racing on home roads as a professional?
Yeah, it's special always to race at home. At that time when I did my first Tour of Denmark, I raced a lot in Denmark at that time, so for sure it was special. But I almost only raced in Denmark at that time. But if now, I would appreciate it a bit more, I think, because I never raced in Denmark.
So in 2017, you had a few good. Well, you came second in the Danish under 23 championships. You also came fourth in Himmerlandet Rundt and fifth in a Dutch race as well. What was that season like for you as a whole?
For sure I developed, but I didn't have the best season I thought that year. I got some victories in smaller Danish races, but I'd hoped to get a bit of better results in the under 23 races and in the smaller UCI races. that I couldn't really do that year. But which I still developed a lot, so that was it wasn't a bad season. It just wasn't as good as my first one in the senior ranks.
How was it like juggling racing with the team and then racing with the national team in the Nations Cup?
That's actually worked quite well, I think, especially last year when on pro continental level, that I could still have my last year as an under 23 and with the national team, and then do bigger races as pro continental with Riwal.
Yeah, okay, we'll talk about last year because that was a very good season. Yeah, as you said, you guys jumped up to Pro Continental. What happened with the team? Because you've been in the team so long. So what differences could you notice as you guys were Pro Continental?
Not a lot on the staff side changed. So for me, it still almost felt like the same team. For sure, they got some new guys, and we got some more international riders. Before that, we were only Danish riders. Everything just stepped up a bit. The race program got a lot better, and started flying to races instead of going by car. So just stuff like that.
Yeah, you did a number of Belgian races in the beginning, and then you did one of your first real results came in GP Herning, a French one-day race. What was that race like for you? Because Mathieu van der Poel won it.
Yeah, it was on some of the couples of that you do in Roubaix. So I thought it was a really nice race. I didn't know about it before, but it suited me quite well. And it was really hard. And then Van der Poel just went solo at the from 10K to go or something, and that was impressive. But we couldn't keep up with him.
You also went to the Tour of Giro di Sicily. Sicily. Was that your first race in Italy?
I don't know if I raced in Italy before that. I don't think so.
Did you enjoy that race?
Yeah, that was some of the stages I enjoyed. We had a 6.5 hour stage one day because of there was headwind and rain all day. So that one I didn't enjoy, but the other ones I did.
Like when you're racing, how much does temperature affect you? Do you prefer it being a bit cooler? And
yeah, I prefer to be in colder weather. I wouldn't say I don't like that it snows or something, but 10-15 degrees, that's where I think I'm best.
That year, so we're still in 2019, you also did something really impressive. You won the under 23 Tour of Flanders. What was that whole race for you like? And I know you haven't ridden the Tour of Flanders yet, the elite one, hopefully this year, but how is the course compared to the elite? Obviously, it's shorter, but do you go over similar climbs?
Yeah, we actually do the same course. We do like the new loop they got done on Kvartemon, Patersberg, and so on. That the professionals do 2 or 3 times. We go over there, and then we go down to the Muir, and then back again over Kvartemon and Patersberg, and then where the pros does another lap, we go into Odenau and does 2 smaller laps on a circuit there with some not couple climbs but just normal climbs there.
So what was that race for you like? How did it all kind of unfold?
It was a really hard race, and we as it was the Danish national team, and we wanted to be at the front of the race all the time. So we sent people into every time there was a breakaway. We got there, and then over Kvartemon and Patersberg, the last time it split at the peloton, and me and Mikkel Björk were still in the front group, and on the then everyone just attacked on the last laps, and Mikkel and I actually got in. We didn't thought it would be a sprint because it's not usually a sprint between that many, so we went away 6 guys with me and Mikkel with 2 laps or what 30 k's to go or something. And we thought that we wouldn't get caught, but then we got caught with 10 k's to go, and we could see it would be, at last it would end with a sprint between 30 guys or something. And then Mikkel, he did a lead out for me, so I won the sprint.
That must have been an incredible feeling when you won it.
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
Is that would you put that up with your best result right now in your young career?
Yeah, for sure.
Then you also did Brantis Peel. That must have been an incredible experience as well.
Yeah, that was nice. Really, yeah, harder than I thought. But it was my first really, I don't really call it a real semi-classic, but it was, my first experience was, with the professional classics.
What kind of races, it seems like you're a rider that likes the cobbles and you have a good sprint. So it seems like Christoph comes to mind. But what kind of rider do you see yourself developing into as you're so young?
You could say Christoph, because I don't see myself as a sprinter unless the race has been really, really hard. Then I'm usually one of the fastest guys. So, and I can climb a bit. I'm not a climber, but a bit. So yeah, a guy like Christoph or Magnus Kort or something, that's what I think I'll develop into.
So what kind of watts can you hit in a sprint, like max?
Just about 1500.
That was similar numbers to what Christoph actually said. So you did really well in the Danish elite national championships as well. That seems to be a ever more competitive title. And what's it like racing that race? Because you're all Danish, but suddenly the continental teams, they have so many more riders, and then they're up against like the single World Tour pros.
I think it's a bit hard for the World Tour pros. Now, this will be my first year not on a continental team. So because the last years we've been like 10 guys at the start line. This year is going to be different, but it's for sure harder for the World Tour guys.
You also won probably the biggest one-day race in Denmark, even though it's not a UCI calendar race, which annoys the bejesus out of me. GP
Herning. Yeah, this year actually.
Oh really? That's
but now I got.
So that's GP Herning. A lot of the big names in Denmark have actually won that, and you won it last year. How did that race kind of unfold? Because you had Kasper Askren of the Koenig Quickstep was racing as well. It's on gravel roads, some sections, or?
Yeah, there's like 28 gravel sections, I think.
So what's that race like? And you've done that race a number of years as well.
Yeah, that's really one of my favorite races, especially in Denmark, because it's really, really hard, and it's not often you race on gravel, especially not that kind of gravel you race there, because it's really, really deep. It's special. Yeah, the race always unfolds with often a breakaway going away after the halfway point. So that's a really difficult gravel road. And it also did that last year. We were 8 guys in that breakaway, but we got caught again with 30 k's to go, I think. And then another group of 8 people got away, I think. But on the last, I had 2 guys in front, so we were not riding behind. But then Askren was in my group still, and his old team Virtu didn't have anyone in front, so I think he wanted to help them a bit, and then he closed down the gap to the guys in front, and then I won the sprints.
That race and your under 23 Tour of Flanders victory came quite close to each other. Did it just feel like everything was clicking for you, like in that period?
Yeah, when I also won Herning the week after, then everything felt like it was clicking. Then that was some good weeks.
You also came fifth in a race that I'd never heard of, but when I looked at the riders who won it, were like in the top three. GP Marcel Clint.
Oh yeah.
And the winner was Brian Cocard, and Nasser Bohani was there as well. What was it like racing against the top French guys?
Yeah, I did a lot of races, quite some races in France last year, and yeah, it's funny racing with the French guys also. And I haven't been with the real top sprinters before, so that was quite nice to show that actually I can also be there in a bunch sprint with them.
Do you kind of feel a difference anymore? Are you kind of immune to racing in different countries, or can you definitely feel the difference?
I don't know really if there's a difference. It depends on the size of the race more, I think.
So yeah, this is one of the races where I was at one of the races and met you guys, the Tour de Yorkshire. That seemed like an absolutely amazing race for Riwal Readiness, because you were mixing it with the big World Tour teams, and I can say this: no one in England knew who Riwal Readiness were, and then you guys still came and you really stuck it to the World Tour teams. How was that whole race for you, being on Riwal?
It was amazing because also the atmosphere in Yorkshire, the crowds they're crazy. So and after we did really well on some stages, and then we won the third stage with Alexander Kamp. Then everyone knew who we were. So the crowd started cheering for us also. So that was quite special.
You actually did really well. On the second stage, you came sixth, and on the stage where Camp he won, you came eighth. So, what were those two stages like?
Yeah, the one where I came sixth was just a bunch sprint. The one we camped and there were headwind all day almost, but then there was really strong headwind, and we knew at one point where it was going to be crosswind. So we knew we were going to be at the front there, and then we came over a hill, and nobody really started, and we knew there's going to be crosswind in 200 meters. So then we thought that we might as well go first then. So we started the echelons and split the peloton. And ended up being the most guy. I think we were 4 guys in the front group. So we were the team with the only thing Ineos also had 4. So after that day, the other teams really got a bit more respect for us.
So yeah, that was your first race, well, first of your races in the UK. You also did Tour of Britain, where I think you said you were injured or something like that, and the under-23 World Championship. What were those two races like for you?
Yeah, Tour of Britain was a really, I think it was a really nice race, but I had a really big crash on a downhill on stage 2. So as I can see it now, I shouldn't have finished the race, but at that time I thought I needed the race kilometers to get ready for World Championships, but I was just I didn't have any power at all the rest of the race, and I was a bit tired the weeks after just to recover from that. So I shouldn't have finished the race because it destroyed the next few weeks.
What was the under-23 championships like? Because that had appalling weather.
Yeah, but I didn't get to do much of the race because I had a mechanical after 20Ks or something and there were crosswinds, so the peloton were going really fast. And as you know, that day the commissaires didn't really know what they were doing, so they wouldn't let me get any help from any cars at all. So I almost got back to the peloton again after I think I chased for 30 kilometers, and then the crash with Eckhoff happened, and then all the cars were gone, so I didn't get up there. And then all the cars just went by me, and Eckhoff was on one of the cars, but I don't think that I didn't get any help, but I don't know what happened. Then I didn't finish the race, and then they thought they would disqualify me after the race also, even though I didn't finish.
That was such a weird race, because personally I didn't think any of you should have been disqualified for that, because it's something you see in races normally anyway.
Yeah, but I don't know. I haven't seen DNF to be a disqualification before. Don't know why they changed that.
You finished the year by doing Paris Tour. Was that a big experience for you? Because that's seen as one of the big one-day races.
Yeah, it was really a very big race, and it was nice to finish the season with during Paris Tour. I didn't really know how I was standing there after my crash and stuff, so I went into the early breakaway, and I actually had quite good legs. So after I shouldn't have went into the breakaway, but it was good experience.
So final question, you being Danish and you actually live in Copenhagen, are you targeting the 2021 Grand Depart in Denmark for the Tour de France?
For sure, that would be unbelievable to start in Copenhagen, but I'm not doing the tour this year, or so I don't know if I'm going to do it next year. But for sure, that would be a dream of mine.
All right, thanks very much, Andreas. We'll look forward to seeing you in the couple classics this year, and
You're welcome.
good luck for the rest of the season.
Thanks.
That's it for this lockdown interview with Andreas Stokbro. Make sure to follow him on Instagram. I've included the link down below. And if you're new to the channel, why not subscribe to not miss out on any upcoming videos, and why not check out some of the other interviews with other Danes on the World Tour, like Niklas E. of Trek Segafredo, Kasper Petersen of Team Sunweb, Jonas Vingegaard of Jumbo Visma, Mathias Norsgaard of Movistar, and Mikkel Honoré of the Koenig Quickstep. And as always, thank you for watching, and see you next time on the Cycling Dane channel.